Okay, that's on me. Now it is. Beep, beep. That's my dishwasher finishing, which now means I've actually got to go and empty it. But hey, you can come and help Mum do that. What do you think? That might be nice today. Apani, how's that bright light? Maybe I'll move it back a little bit. As Apani makes her way up to her mum's glasses, and if you've seen much earlier videos of Apani as a little one, you'll know that Apani always liked up here and spent a lot of time up here when she was a little bub, and still likes to spend a lot of time up here as not such a little bub anymore. And the only difference now is that not just the fact that she's bigger, but because they fall off with her weight. That's what happens. So I'll take them off, though she knows the difference. That when I take them off, they're not on my head anymore, and she tries to go back there. And Mum's as blind as a bat without her glasses on. Well, I'm not. You would go in my mouth too, would you not? I'm not blind, but no, I can see quite well long distance, but I can't see me very well in the camera there. But what was Mum going to actually discuss with you today? Apani? Hey? What was I going to actually talk about with you? You know, I haven't done a video with Apani for a little while. I sort of, well, not that I neglect my little ones at all, I don't. They get their out time. I just sort of haven't been really picking up the camera very often lately, and you'll have noticed that I've kind of just been doing every second day with my videos, due to the fact that yes, we are all busy at Christmas, not just me, I'm sure. And I have been putting videos up every day, but sometimes family things that go on, as I've said, take a little bit of a priority, and that's okay, because my snakes are not neglected in that either. They're certainly not out as much as I would normally have them out. Of course, Lily is out anyway, pretty much every day. She just goes on up to the hangout spot, and she doesn't demand too much of my actual attention. She just does her own thing. These little guys though, you know, I've got to be watching and not necessarily holding, because I can put them on the jungle gym and let them do their thing, but I do like to physically hold them sometimes and touch them and feel them and let them feel me as well. But yeah, what I was going to talk about is, why aren't snakes more popular with people as a pet? I'm not talking about as in becoming a breeder of them. I'm talking about just having them in our lives as a pet. Why isn't that? Why is it that virtually every house you'll go to, there's a cat, and you'll see Ruby there, chilling up on the enclosure. There's a cat and a dog, a bird, fish, which, as we know, are very common. But I don't know the statistics or percentages of how many households actually have these beautiful animals as pets, but I know there isn't that many. And I was sort of thinking about that. Why don't more people consider snakes as a pet? And I think they're not considered mainstream. They're not in every pet shop that you will go into. They're not portrayed as pets at all. And in truth, for me, that is exactly what my snakes are. And they are as much pets for me as my cats and my dogs are, or fish and birds have been in my life. And I think people think that you've really got to have, what's the word I would use? Not have. I think people feel that there's so much more to taking care of snakes than there is a cat and dog. And honestly, no, that isn't the case at all. In actual fact, in so many ways, they're much easier to care for than your cat and dogs. Well, for me, I feel that is the case anyway. The basics of what you need to know, which is the temperatures they like, the heat that they require, the humidity, heat, humidity, the size of their enclosure that they need. And that changes, of course, as your snake gets older and grows and so forth. They need water and they need feeding. Yes, their food is other animals, and in my case, that can be rats, mice, chicks and quail. But apart from that, the general care of them, which for me is, as you know, getting them out, handling them, spending time with them, getting to know them, what you would do with your cat and your dog and your bird. I don't consider them to be a specialty. People categorize them as exotics, and they are exotics, but I think that's where we go wrong in putting that name to them. Instead of them being another pet you can have in your life. Sure, sorry for the it's a gap word, isn't it, really, and it's unnecessary, and I say it a lot. But personally, I would like to see more people considering them as a pet that they can have in their life. and not something that is a specialty animal that is perceived as being that you've got to have this immense knowledge about them. You don't. You know, with a dog you need to know what they like to eat, and you do have to train them to a certain degree to sit and stay and come and all of that stuff, and where they can jump on and sleep and not and all the rest of it. In actual fact, to some degree, there can be more work involved in your dog than a snake in a lot of ways. And I guess too, I forget that not everybody likes them. And I'm not talking about a fear of them. I'm talking about it's not their thing. They're just not interested. But so many children are so open to wanting to have a snake in their life. And recently somebody has watched my channel, and the children were watching and said, I would really like to have a snake. And hopefully that is because I portray them as more than these things that are out to harm you, and more in line with being able to be with us humans and live with us humans, because that is what I do. I live with my snakes every day in one way or another. And I know that a lot of children out there you think would go, it would be a novelty and that novelty would wear off. That happens with dogs and cats and so on too. I'm just glad to hear those conversations going on with children and their parents, and children saying, can we get a snake? I'd really love to have a snake. And I'm not saying willy-nilly go and get one. If your child is really that interested in having one and continues to show that they're interested in having one, why not? It does teach responsibility, like any other animal will, and to give them something to care for and love. And I hope that you see that you can love them and spend time with them and get to know them and realize that they have so much to offer. They're not these cold, leave me alone or I'm going to hurt you. They'll actually enjoy your company. So I would like to see more people consider having snakes as a pet in their life. And you do know, if you've got any questions or you're not sure, you have many ways to contact me or anybody in the community that I know would be only so willing to help you with any of those questions, anything at all. I am more than happy to help. And as you know, Noah's getting his first snake this year, and he's now, I feel, old enough. He will still require a little bit of help from Nana, and of course it's not hard for me to do that. It's a joy and a love that I'm only too happy to do. But consider it, instead of shrugging it off and saying no way are we going to ever have a snake. But guys, from Little Apani, that is out of focus of course, Take care of yourself and your family, your friends, your snakes, and all your animals. Ciao.